If you've been struggling to lower your body fat and you want to make an insane transformation, then this is going to be the perfect video for you, because I'm going to show you step by step, guys, how I went from 25% body fat to 10% body fat, and I didn't have to hop on any extreme diets or spend hours and hours just doing cardio. And by following the steps, guys, that I'm going to give you in this video, you are really going to be able to go out there, lose fat, and make an insane transformation. So do me a huge favor, hit that like button and subscribe, and let's hop right in. All right, so the first thing, guys, that we need to get in place is going to be your mindset. Now, I know it might sound a little bit cliche, guys, but I'm gonna be honest. Your mindset really is going to be your foundation on your entire fitness journey. If you don't have your mindset right, bottom line, you're not gonna see the results that you're looking for. And a lot of you guys watching this video, you may have set goals for yourself, but you have never been able to reach them, right? You've never been able to actually stick all the way through, whether it's been in the gym, whether it's been on your diet. And a big reason for that, guys, is because you didn't go into it with the right mindset and the right foundation. A lot of people go into fitness, a lot of people, will set these generic type of goals for themselves, like, oh, I wanna lose 20 pounds. Oh, I wanna lose 50 pounds. I wanna lose 100 pounds. But there's no deep emotional connection to it. And this is crucial to have, guys. You have to have a deeper emotional connection to your fitness journey. It can't just be generic. Your whole motivation can't just be, hey, I just want to lose 50 pounds and that's it, right? Like, it has to be more of a lifestyle change. It has to be something that resonates deeply with you, because that's actually what's gonna get you up on those days where you don't feel like working out, you don't feel like sticking to your diet, right? And you got those cookies in the pantry, you have ice cream in the fridge or whatnot, or in the freezer, and you just wanna pig out, say screw your diet, and just start binge eating, right? What's gonna keep you from actually doing that and actually following through with your diet? That is going to be your mindset, and that is going to be your reason why, right? So I want you to ask yourself, what truly is your reason why you wanna make a change, right? Instead of the generic, oh, well, I just wanna lose 50 pounds. Well, what's the deeper reason? How is that 50 pounds going to affect you? How is that gonna affect your lifestyle? How is that gonna affect your confidence? How is that gonna affect how other people view you, right? Start thinking about these things. Me personally, when I got started on my journey, guys, it was my freshman year of college, and I had put on the freshman 15, freshman 20, whatever you wanna call it, right? Had just had a bad breakup, so I was feeling pretty down on myself. Confidence was at an all-time low. And I looked in the mirror and I was like, you know what? We really got to make a change now. We really got to level up. We need to become our most attractive self, because I want to actually have more dating options. I want to actually feel confident in myself, right? I want to actually feel confident when I take my shirt off, right? So these reasons, guys, really resonated with me at that time. And, it really helped me to continue on my journey, continue sticking to my diet, continue sticking to my workout regimen, right? And continuously making progress. And it all starts with your foundation and your mindset, guys. So that is the first thing that you need to make sure that you have in place. Okay, so step number 2, guys, is going to be to find your game plan. A big reason why a lot of people fail at shredding fat, guys, is because they think that they have to be super restrictive on their diets, right? And so they pick these absolutely ridiculous type of diets, whether that's like keto, whether that's, fasting throughout the entire day, hopping on pure vegetables or whatnot, right? A lot of people think that they just have to eat so restrictively, and they don't really understand that in order to actually be able to stick to a diet, it has to be enjoyable, right? The whole reason, guys, why I was able to go from 25% to 10% body fat was because I was able to do it every single day. If you are on a diet that absolutely sucks, you're not gonna wanna stick with that joint, right? You're gonna be like, I'm good on this. Let me go back to, eating my chips. Let me go and just order a pizza. Let me go to Burger King or whatnot, right? So when it comes to dieting, guys, one of the most important things that you need to know is that it's really just a calorie game, right? It's really just calories in versus calories out. and then just trying to find the best foods that will keep us full throughout the day, that fit within those calories, right? And as long as you are in what is called a caloric deficit, you are gonna lose fat each and every week. Now, I have a ton of videos on this already, guys, as far as like, calories, how to find your calories, how to find your maintenance, and how to fit foods within those calories. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of like a simplified version in this video, but you definitely wanna check out some of those after you watch this one. Now, the easiest way to do this is just go on Google, type in calorie calculator. It's gonna ask you for some of your stats and like your activity level on a week-to-week basis. You're gonna type that stuff in. It's going to pop out what your maintenance calories are. And your maintenance calories, guys, basically in a nutshell, is just how many calories that you burn on a day-to-day basis that's gonna keep you around the same exact weight, right? So you're not gonna lose weight, not gonna gain weight. You're just gonna stay around the exact same weight. And this is important to know because once you have that number, then you can know exactly how many calories that you need to eat every single day in order to actually start going out there, losing weight, and actually being in that caloric deficit. So after you use the calorie calculator and you have your maintenance, all you gotta do, guys, is just eat 300 to 500 calories less than that maintenance number, and you are gonna start to lose anywhere between half a pound to 1 pound of fat per week. And this is what I did, guys, to lose over 40 pounds. I made sure that I knew exactly what my numbers were. For me personally, my maintenance when I started at around 200 pounds, my maintenance was around 2,500 calories, right? So I was like, okay, my maintenance is 2,500 calories, then I'm just gonna eat 2,000 calories every single day. And then the goal was really just to find foods to fill that 2,000 calories, right? And as long as I didn't go over 2,000 calories, I was gonna be losing a substantial amount of fat each and every week. And that's exactly what happened. So it's actually pretty simple, guys, with the whole process. So the difficult part that a lot of people have then is, well, food selection, right? How do we figure out what foods that, actually taste good and that are enjoyable that we could stick to on a day-to-day basis that's gonna keep us within those numbers so that, we don't go over our calories and that, we can eat that 2,000 calories every single day so that we can lose a pound of fat a week. First off, you wanna make sure that you always cook your meals. I mean, that is crucial, guys. Limit the fast food. You do not want to be ordering fast food. If you say you don't have time to cook, you need to meal prep, bottom line. But you want to cook literally 99% of your meals, right? Because you're going to be able to control the amount of calories that actually goes in there. Because if you go in, to a fast food restaurant, if you go to, really any kind of restaurant, you don't know exactly what they're putting in there. Some of them might have like their nutritional facts and whatnot, but you don't know how much oil they're using. You don't know how much sauce they're using, right? So you want everything to be controlled because that's going to be the best way that you're actually going to be able to make sure that you are hitting your numbers consistently, right? So that's the first thing. Got to make sure that you're cooking your meals. Here's the secret, guys, and I've talked about this in a lot of videos. So if it's your first time watching, I'm going to break it down for you in this one too. What I want you to do is I want you to go online and I want you to search for low calorie recipes for your favorite foods, right? So if you love cheeseburgers, go online and find a recipe for low calorie cheeseburgers. If you love pizza, find a recipe for low calorie pizza, right? Because obviously we're human, we have a lot of different cravings. On a day-to-day basis, I crave hamburgers, I crave pizza, I crave, like tacos sometimes, sometimes I crave like Chinese food and stuff like that, right? So all I really do is go on Google and find those low-calorie recipes for all of your favorite foods. And then you just start making substitutions, right? So, for example, a regular cheeseburger, like the patty and everything, usually the ground beef is like 70%, 75%, sometimes 80%, if you go to like a fast food place or a restaurant or something like that, right? So instead, we are going to up the percentage. We're gonna go with a leaner meat. We are gonna go with 96% ground beef instead. That's gonna save us around 200 calories. Another thing, we're not using regular cheese. We're gonna replace that, have some fat-free cheese, right? And, instead of using, like regular mayo, we're gonna cut that and use like the half mayo, right? So by doing all this stuff, guys, you're gonna end up cutting a crap ton of calories on your meals. You can do the same thing if you like pancakes. I love pancakes, right? Instead of using regular syrup, I cut that out and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna use some sugar-free syrup. That cuts like 300 calories just right off the bat. Another thing is I don't use regular oil, I use oil spray. So as you can see, guys, you know, you can really make some great substitutions. So I highly recommend go on Google, find some great low calorie recipes, try it out, and you know, you're gonna find out what you like, what you don't like, you know, what worked, what didn't, and then just keep a few of those on rotation, right? So go ahead, find yourself 2 recipes for breakfast, 2 recipes for lunch, 2 recipes for dinner that, you know, you actually enjoy, and then just keep those on rotations and make sure that they fit within your calorie number, right? So like I said before, for me, you know, since my maintenance was 2,500 calories and I'm aiming for 2,000 calories a day, I just said, okay, breakfast, lunch, dinner, maybe I'll have a little protein shake as a snack. All right, for breakfast, I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, I'm gonna have some oatmeal and protein shake. All right, for lunch, you know what, I'm feeling some French toast, or, you know, for lunch, maybe I'm feeling like a sub sandwich or something like that, right? So I'll look up a recipe, find a sub sandwich. Okay, around how many calories is this gonna be? Oh, 600 calories, I can afford that for the day. Boom, you plug that in. All right, now for dinner, you know, I might have, you know, however many calories you might have left on the day, whether that's 1,000, 1,200 calories, right? And you're just like, okay, what can I plug in for my last 1,000 calories of the day? Boom, hamburger, cool. You just plug that in, guys. So now your total for the day, you made sure you stayed within your 2,000 calorie range. You ate some good tasting foods that, you know, had some protein in it and everything. So you're making sure that you're also hitting some macronutrients and you're good to go. Like, that's literally all you have to do. And you just spam that. Like, and when I say spam, guys, I mean, you do that over and over and over every single day, week by week, month by month. And if you do that, you're going to see your weight literally just go like that. Right? You're gonna be dropping weight super, super fast, and you're not even really gonna be thinking about it, because as you start to get into your flow, right? As you start to get into the flow of things, it's just gonna become second nature eventually. And then, like I said, you're gonna go out there and you're gonna start making a crazy transformation. So this is what I did, guys, to go from that 25% to 10%, to lose over 40 pounds was, like I said, I just made sure I created a schedule, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, found some low calorie recipes, boom, plugged it in so I could hit my numbers and not go over my 2,000 calorie limit every day. And then boom, really simple, guys. And that is the second step that I did to go from 25% to 10%. And so now, time for step number 3. All right, and step number 3, and this really is gonna be a given, guys. You gotta make sure that you're working out, right? You gotta make sure you're hitting the gym. You gotta make sure that you're getting in some weight training. I would say minimum of 3 days a week. I would say, but honestly, if you really wanna become your most attractive version of yourself, hit the gym 4 days a week, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, right? You wanna make sure that you are maximizing muscle building. And in order to maximize muscle building, you wanna make sure that you are hitting each body part twice a week, right? So you wanna make sure you're hitting your chest twice a week, your arms, your shoulders, your back, legs, right? So you wanna make sure that you're doing all of these things because, like I said, it's gonna maximize muscle gain, make you look your most attractive self. Because once you lose all that fat, guys, you gotta have something to show for it, right? I see a lot of people, they'll, you know, hop on diets and whatnot, you know, they, you know, lose a bunch of weight and then they have nothing to show for it, right? They're left with a lot of, you know, saggy, loose skin. Doesn't really look too good. And that's because they neglected weight training. Weight training is so important, guys. Now, depending where you're starting, some of you guys might be starting at, you know, super high body fat percentages, maybe like, you know, 40%, 35%, whatever it is, right? So, you know, some saggy skin might be a little bit inevitable, and that's fine. But overall, guys, to look your best, most attractive self, you definitely want to make sure that you are doing proper weight training and, you know, hitting the gym consistently, right? So that is the big first thing. Another thing, guys, when it comes to the gym is you want to make sure that you are constantly getting stronger. You want to make sure that you are progressively overloading, right? So you're not just going in the gym and, just picking up some dumbbells and, just trying to crank out whatever amount of reps, whatever amount of weight, and, not tracking stuff, right? Every single step that we've been talking about is very calculated, right? Everything is very calculated, and that's why having a game plan is absolutely crucial. Like I was saying before, game plan as far as, the diet, like we talked about, and now having a game plan when it comes to the gym. Know what workouts you want to hit on each day, right? Going in there, getting stronger. One day you go in the gym, you lift this amount of weight, and you're like, okay, next session, we're gonna go for this amount of weight and this amount of weight, right? You're gradually getting stronger because that is what's actually going to force your muscles to actually grow. And that is gonna be progressive overload, guys. And that really was what is going to create that nice shape and really just build your physique to be its most attractive self, right? So that is crucial, guys. And if you don't know what you're doing in the gym, then you're really not going to see any results. But don't worry if you guys are beginners. I actually created a free guide for you down below. All you have to do is just click the link in the description, grab the free guide. It's gonna be a push-pull legs plan, and it's really gonna teach you kind of everything that you need to know to get you started and, get you to start making progress. Now, really quick, I want to give you guys a couple bonus tips to help you out too if you ever run into this. First thing being is binge eating, right? How to avoid binge eating. Like we talked about before, guys, obviously you want to make sure that you're enjoying your meals, but you're still gonna, even if you're enjoying your meals, you are gonna have some of those cravings, right? Because you're really trying to break out of your old eating habits, right? So if you used to always crave McDonald's, you used to always crave Burger King, or used to always crave, like cookies, chips, whatever it is, right? If you used to crave that stuff, you're probably still gonna deal with a little bit of those cravings even as you're adjusting to this new diet. So in order to help you with that, here's what I want you to do. I want you to leave no temptation whatsoever in the house, right? So what you need to do is you need to go in the pantry, you need to go in your cabinets, you need to completely clear all of those out. Clear out all the chips. If you got chips in there, if you have candy in there, if you have soda in there, I want you to just throw that stuff away and make sure you get it out the house immediately. Like, you do not want to have bingey type of foods just sitting there. You don't want to have all these, super addicting type of snacks just sitting in your house, guys, because even if, you're enjoying your lean ground beef burgers, even if you're enjoying your tacos, when it gets late at night and you might have, like that sweet tooth craving, if you see just cookies sitting in the cabinet, what's going to happen? You're just gonna go and start binge eating, and then now your whole day is ruined, right? And you gotta try to bounce back the next day, right? In order to keep you out of that cycle and to, keep you from feeling guilty about yourself, just get it out the house, right? If you wanna go ahead and, buy like a low calorie snack, maybe have like a protein bar or something sitting in there. Protein bar is fine. Just work it out, make sure that it fits within your calories and everything, right? Cause I like protein bars myself. So I would say, maybe have like a protein bar sitting in there. Air popped popcorn is okay. Don't use butter though. These are just a couple of snacks that I've had in my past that kind of helped me to get rid of, some of those cravings or whatnot. And that way you can actually stay on track and stick to your diet. Another thing that you want to make sure that you do, guys, is don't sabotage yourself on the weekends. Too many people sabotage themselves on the weekends, and it completely screws up the whole week. If you are dieting from Monday through Friday and you think that, okay, well, since I stuck to my diet Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday, I can eat absolute whatever. No, that is not the case. You have not earned that whatsoever. You have to look at it like that too. And, I'm not trying to be harsh or anything, but no, you have not earned that. If you are 25% body fat, 30%, 35%. I'll say this, if you're over 15% body fat, you have not earned the ability to eat whatever you want on the weekends, right? That is really reserved if you're under 15% body fat. And even then, you shouldn't be going too crazy on the weekends. But overall, guys, stick to your diet Monday through Sunday. Stick to your diet for the full 7-day duration. You want to make sure that you are staying consistent with your diet, guys, throughout the entire week. Don't have Monday through Friday be really good, and then Saturday you end up eating 3,000 calories. Or Sunday you end up eating 3,500 calories because you said, you know what, I want to, eat some ice cream or go and, get a Papa John's pizza or whatever it is, right? Like, no. If you guys are really serious about making a change and really serious about hitting your fat loss goals, do not do that, guys. Stay consistent throughout the entire week. And also, guys, if you want the full step-by-step process to become your most attractive self, lose fat, get shredded, look absolutely lean, then you definitely want to check out my Hollywood Body program. And this is going to be an 8-week program, guys. I'm going to run through diet, nutrition, workouts, really everything you need to know, guys, to really build that Hollywood type body and become your most attractive self. And those are the steps, guys, to take you from 25% to 10% body fat. And as long as you do this, as long as you follow all the steps in this video and follow the process, guys, you are going to achieve yourself an amazing natural transformation. And that's it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please do me a huge favor, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll be back again with a bunch of other videos. So thank you so much for watching. God bless, and I'll catch you next time.